Good afternoon. This is News Around the World on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Agbari Gonireke, Ibadan. I am Inumidun. Afonja Adedeji. First, the top stories. Federal government approves the reopening of unity schools in the country. South Africa opens borders to all African countries. Debate Commission plans changes to formats of presidential debate, and in sport, Sabrina withdraws from French Open. Now the news in full. Federal government has approved the reopening of the 104 unity schools in the country for the 11th of October 2020. Minister of Education Nabadamu Adamu, who disclosed these, said the approval was for junior secondary school and senior secondary school. Adamu said the action was to enable students who had been at home since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic to complete the academic session, which will end in December. The minister advised that COVID-19 protocols should be strictly observed in the schools to prevent spread of the pandemic among students. President Muhammadu Buhari says that Nigeria as an indivisible geopolitical entity is more beneficial to its citizens than becoming units of nationalities. Buhari gave the advice in a nationwide broadcast to mark the 60th independence anniversary of Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation. The president stressed the need for the country to begin a sincere process of national healing.
I am convinced that if we pursue our aspirations together, we would be able to achieve whatever we desire. This informed our adopting the theme together to mark this epochal event. Together, we can change our condition for the better, and more importantly, together we can do much more for ourselves and for our country.
President Buhari advised citizens to always discard acts that are capable of dividing the nation or promoting primordial sentiments. The president expressed his optimism that Nigeria will achieve its set goals if citizens collectively pursue the nation's aspirations together. As part of activities marking Nigeria's 60th Independence Day celebration, Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde has led the state government functionaries and paramilitary agencies in a special road walk. The road walk started from Government Arcade, Agodi, and terminated at Total Garden, Ibadan. Speaking before the commencement of the road walk, Governor Makinde had Nigerians not to be discouraged by challenges confronting the nation, but should be positive that Nigeria will be better. Meanwhile, as Nigeria celebrates its 60th anniversary, hundreds of protesters stormed the streets of Lagos State to express their displeasure against bad governance in Nigeria. The protesters, chanting songs of solidarity, met from the streets of Ojota to Maryland in Lagos. Reports, however, revealed that no fewer than 30 protesters have been arrested by security operatives. The Coalition for Revolution, codenamed Revolution Now, had in a statement before the protest called on President Muhammadu Buhari to resign. In Ogun, the state government has announced a 2-day ban on public gatherings of more than 20 persons and outlawed procession as the nation marks its 60th Independence Day. Governor Dapo Abiodun also imposed a 2-day curfew between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. from Thursday to Friday, which took effect from Wednesday night. This is contained in a statement by its Chief Press Secretary, Kunle Shumori. The statement revealed that the ban was part of the efforts in curtailing the spread of COVID-19. The Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, says Nigerians living in Britain make enormous contributions across the country. Johnson stated these in a letter he wrote to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, on the occasion of the 60th independence anniversary of Nigeria. As Nigeria marks its 60th anniversary, Pensioners FM continues to spotlight key areas of Nigeria's development. In this special report, our correspondent Ibiu Mishola takes us through the Nigerian political history up to 60 years. His report is presented by Yetunde Oke.
Having emerged winners of the 1959 general elections on the platform of Northern People's Congress (NPC), the last British Governor General of Nigeria, Sir James Robertson, handed over power to Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa on the 1st of October 1960.
Just 1 week ago, the clocks were striking midnight and Nigeria was on the threshold of independence. There was a brief ceremony at which the leaders of three different faiths each said a brief prayer to the advancement of mankind by applying those eternal truths which will inevitably persist long after we ourselves are utterly forgotten.
And from 1963, when Nigeria became a republic, to 1966, Nnamdi Azikiwe served as Nigeria's first president.
The process of political integration reached its zenith at midnight on 30th September 1960, when we lastly sang our national anthem and our national flag was hoisted aloft to signal the birth of a new nation. Come and join Abubakar with me, Sadauna, Awolowo, Akitala, Ofarede, Okpara, Ikoku, Aminu Kano, Ibrahim Imam, and Saka. Let us bind the nation's wound and let us heal the breaches of the past so that in forging our nation, there shall emerge on this continent a hate-free, fear-free, and greed-free people who shall be in the vanguard of a world task force whose assignment is not only to revive the stature of man in Africa, but to restore the dignity of man in the world.
The period termed First Republic 1960 to 1966 witnessed a lot of crises, which include 1962 Action Group crisis. Between 1960 and 1966, when the first military coup took place, the country witnessed another serious crisis in the National Population Census in 1963, where it was alleged that the 56 million population released was manipulated by the Northerners. Not forgetting 1964 regional elections and 1965 Operation Wetie in the West. Within 6 months of the same year, two coups were staged, 15th January and 29th July 1966. Nigeria came under military rule between 1966 and 1979. General Aguiyi Ironsi was topped in 1966. His successor, General Yakubu Gowon's government, was halted in 1975. Between 1975 and 1979, it was Murtala and Obasanjo's regime, with the former assassinated on the 13th of February 1976 in a coup staged by Colonel Bukar Suka Demka. General Obasanjo took over and ensured the success of the transition to civilian rule started by Murtala. How can you rate the military in the country's governance? Elder statesman Primate Shitu speaks.
No, we got it wrong at some time. But time after time, we keep trying to reduce or fix what is in our problem is that is the followership and then the leadership. And that is the problem we have inhabited from independence till now.
Alhaji Shehu Usman Shagari won the 1979 presidential elections after edging out Chief Obafemi Awolowo of the Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN. The Second Republic in 1979 to 1983 was cut short in a military coup on the 31st December 1983 and brought in General Muhammadu Buhari and Tunde Idiagbon's regime. Military President Ibrahim Babangida ousted the regime of Muhammadu Buhari in 1985 to end his 2-year reign as the head of state. After about 10 years of military rule, the elections of June 12, 1993 were highly anticipated after Moshood Abiola emerged winner in a controversial manner. The Babangida administration annulled the elections.
It is true that the presidential election was generally seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was, in fact, a huge array of electoral practices virtually in all the states of the Federation before the actual voting began.
The annulment ultimately led to a political crisis during which General Sani Abacha seized power after Chief Ernest Shonekan served as head of interim national government. A public affairs analyst, Comrade Olu Omotosho, assessed the role of military in Nigerian development.
We were hoping that we were going to get there at the things at which we started as a republic, but unfortunately we lost it somewhere, and we've not been able to retreat. We've not been able to retrieve ourselves, and right now we are even further. We are farther away from getting there than we were when we became a republic. We are not there at all.
The transition to the Fourth Republic in 1999 served as a turning point in Nigeria's politics. So far, it has been the largest period of democratic governance in Nigeria. However, it could be argued that the civilian-led Fourth Republic has not lived up to its billing. An online journalist, Remy Oladoye, speaks.
Immediately the military interregnum came in. Something happened. We didn't get it. We really missed. Now, since 1999, when the civilians came back, we have not been on the right path. We get there soon, if we are determined, and if we are not, we continue to put charlatans and people that have nothing serious to do in governance.
60 years of Nigeria's journey has no doubt been a mixed bag, with the negatives seeming to dominate the positives. The question is, can Nigeria stand the test of time in the next 60 years with the various agitations for self-realization across the country?
This is News Around the World on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Let's now talk some pension labor stories around the world. Lagos Zone of the Academic Staff Union of Universities has faulted claims by the Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngigis that the union was on strike because of its anger against the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System. In a statement, the Lagos Zonal Coordinator, Professor Lushiji Showande, noted that the union had requested to present our university transparency and accountability solution work, but got no response from the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Meanwhile, Canada's pension plan, CPP, is one of the world's largest public pension funds with $434.4 billion in assets under the management as of June 2020. The mandate of the investment board that runs it, Canada Pension Plan Investment Board, has been able to manage funds in the best interest of Canadian CPP contributors and retirees. President of CPP Investments, Mark Martin, said investments mandate and professional governance insulate the decision making from short-term discussions and gives license to help shape the long-term future. This is News Around the World on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Now to other stories. South Africa has opened its borders to travelers from all African countries, but has retained restrictions against countries with higher coronavirus infection rates, including the United Kingdom and the United States and Russia. The country closed its borders in March to curtail the spread of the virus. Reports reveal that it will reopen some land borders and its three major airports in Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg today. South Africa's Foreign Minister, Naledi Pandor, said all arriving travelers must produce a COVID-19 testing certificate from their countries and will be screened on arrival. In Guinea, the human rights organization Amnesty International says at least 50 people have been killed during protests in the last year. Most of the protesters were killed during demonstrations against the third term for President Alpha Conde. In a new development, reports reveal that Amnesty accuses defense and security forces of being responsible for killings and says they're acting with impunity. Presidential elections in Guinea are due later this month. This is News Around the World on Pensioners 106.7 FM. We will be back with entertainment and sports stories. An Irish television and radio presenter, Graham Norton, has questioned the need for Strictly Come Dancing to feature same sex couples. Norton's reaction followed reports that the former Olympic boxer Nicola Adams is set to become the first celebrity to be paired with a same sex partner when this year's series begins. Now to the world of sports. Three-time champion Serena Williams has withdrawn from the French Open because of an Achilles injury. And to end the news around the world, on Pensioners 106.7 FM, here's a recap of the top stories. Federal government has approved the reopening of the 104 unity schools in the country for the 11th of October 2020. South Africa has opened its borders to travelers from all African countries. Debate Commission has planned changes to formats of United States presidential debate. And in sport, Serena has withdrawn from French Open because of an Achilles injury. For any information, contact us on this mobile number 0812-008-6270. You can also visit us at Oyo State Pensioners House at Gwarigo Nireke, Ibadan. The news editor is Olarisai Oweye. I am Inumidun Afonja Adedeji. Thank you for listening.
Pensioners FM 106.7.